You guys, this is not your typical makeup tutorial. This is a little bit of a different type of live today. So I wanted to let you know I have invited Sue Bryce. Sue is a very creative photographer, but also somebody that I connected with here on social media. You know, certain times women are drawn to other women for a variety of different reasons. And some things that drew me to Sue, and she's going to be popping on here in just a minute, and then I'm going to kind of invite her in. We're going to do a chat. So first of all, let me know where you're watching from, because Sue is, well, she's going to introduce herself to you as well. I'm hoping that she pops in here soon. But aside from photography, we share a lot of the same sentiments about a lot of different things, especially women in midlife. But she's going to be coming to you also with things like suggestions of ways that you can pose for photography. There she is. Okay, Sue, hold on just a second. Here we go. Invite, and then you should be able to pop in with me. Hoping. And then just let me know if
Hello.
it works. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's the beautiful Sue Bryce. How are you?
I'm so good. It's good to see you, Kim. Hi, everyone. I see this Australia is already on.
Yes, we have people from all over. I saw Brazil pop up and all different places all over the globe. I don't know if you got to hear the little
I
bit of an
did.
introduction, but there was something that drew me to you early on. And I don't know, we've still kind of like we connected in this really bizarre way without having ever met each other before. And I I feel that there are a lot of women here in this platform that we kind of do that with one another, which, then truly like causes people to want to follow you for different
It's women
reasons.
like us. I think that's what you and I came to on the phone call, is that women who follow us are women like us. So when you meet women like you, it's like, oh, we've got this tribe of people. So it is. And I love just anybody over 50 that's putting their face and their brand online. So I was drawn to you instantly for that reason. And the fact that you're beautiful and that you've got so much wonderful information. But I just got drawn into what you do and what you share. And I've been working with makeup artists for 36 years, like professionally. So my whole world has been makeup. So it's like, yeah, when I saw you, I was like, oh, you're my people.
I see a lot of people commenting, did you guys coordinate your colors? No,
No.
not at all. It's so funny.
I
Y'all,
actually didn't wear this because I just had a feeling you would wear blue. I was like, I didn't know your blue eyes. And I was like,
I do
oh,
wear blue
Kim
a
will wear
lot.
blue and I'm going to clash. But then you,
That's so funny. I mean, it is business on the top and a party on the bottom. So I'm
oh
not
yeah,
going to
I'm in
show you what I'm wearing.
shorts,
Yeah,
shorts and slippers.
I'm in leggings for sure, for sure. So let's like, we don't have a plan,
Uh,
and which I love. Like we didn't want to have a plan when we started to chat here, but what a lot of what we share, a lot of our beliefs about women in midlife and things like that are very common. But I would like to pick your brain about a few things. I have like
sure.
some questions for you that I think everybody maybe wants to know your feeling on. And you guys, if you don't currently follow Sue, you're going to be able to see once I upload this, you will see that she is a collab and a collaborator with me, and you're going to be able to follow her. But it is at Sue Bryce Photography. Is it photography or photographer? Help me.
Photographer.
Photographer here on Instagram.
Mhm.
And so before I ask the first question, can you give me a little bit of your background, like where you are and How you
Yeah,
got into
I'm from New
photography?
Zealand. Everyone asks me if I'm from Australia, and you should always pick New Zealand first. Even Australians laugh at that joke. I've been in Arizona. I've been in the US for 13 years because I came over and did a live broadcast on Creative Live, and my brand just blew up in the US. But also, I am international, so I have a lot of international people. I built a platform in 2015. I've been a photographer for 36 years, but I basically reinvented glamour photography. So when I was 18, glamour photography was dead. It was 1988, and they said I couldn't do it anymore, and I only wanted to do glamour photography, so I just reinvented it. I found a modern way to put a twist on makeover portrait photography. But what was happening around the world was celebrity photo shoots, the Kardashians and all these celebrity Vanity Fair shoots. So it was a pretty easy to associate this makeover world with women having this celebrity experience. And my business was phenomenal. And then I built a platform that taught 28,000 photographers all around the world to do the same thing. So makeup has always been intrinsically tied to my world of photography because my style of photography has always been more of a glamour based photography. As I've aged, that has changed significantly, but so has the world. And now I'm in my 50s. So now I'm bringing a different kind of realness that's not a softed glamour version of that anymore. And so now it's the reality of I don't want to fill my face with fillers and I want to age, but I'm also in the public eye a lot. So I started to think nobody's going to want to see my old face and all this pressure to have all this stuff done to myself. And now I'm just showing up just as myself, but I'm creating work that's more in alignment with women getting 50 and empowering them to their fullest beauty.
And that was one of the things that we shared about, we have this notion of aging gracefully, and that definition to people, to women in general, looks very different
Yes.
across the board. But when we tie that to our individuality, that's okay.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
where, how I decide to age gracefully, it might be very different from how you decide to age gracefully, and we're both right. But
Yes.
yet somehow in the social aspect, we feel the need to attack when there's a lot of attacking
A lot of
of what that
judgment.
truly means. Oh, you wear makeup, so therefore you're not aging gracefully. Well, wait a minute. Or you
A
get
lot of my
Botox, so you're
girlfriends,
not aging gracefully. And so it's a double standard.
it is a double standard. Look, a lot of my girlfriends don't wear makeup. And this is the big thing. When I turned 50, I was like, do I have to stop wearing makeup? That's where I found you because I started getting really confused. I also would go to do the makeup I used to do, and it just looked wrong. My face has changed, my eyes have changed, they're wrinklier, and they don't, it's just different. So I was actually considering going to do a makeup lesson to just kind of get familiar with my older face. I think that's probably the bigger thing. But yeah, why are we judging people? Like, I don't want to have a facelift, but if you have a facelift, that's okay. I just don't want you to feel like you have to have a facelift to be valuable. That's all. It's just that one distinction that I think is really, really important. And the more 50 plus women you see online who are women like us, you'll start to see your face aging and we're not hiding anymore.
That's correct. So when
Yeah.
somebody comes into your studio, somebody, let's just say in midlife, aging skin, and they want you to photograph them. When they sit down at the makeup table, so do you do their makeup? Do you have somebody do their makeup? How's that work?
I've worked with a professional makeup artist for 36 years. So
Mhm.
that's part of the process for me. Even now, even though we're not overdoing makeup like we used to, I'd still do that because it's such a beautiful feeling to
Mhm.
have somebody get you camera ready. It's like it's more than being pampered. It's like they go through this transition. It's really bizarre. And most women are not confident doing their own makeup. Most women are not confident doing their own hair.
Mhm.
And it's only when they sit in that chair that you really realize most women have not had a professional hair and makeup done. And if they have, they maybe didn't like it. So, yeah, it's a big part to me of the preparation is getting your face and hair done, whatever level of makeup you choose.
Yeah, because I think that whenever you have somebody else do your makeup, and I see this also, like my daughter just got her professional photographs done, and when I did her makeup, I know how she likes her makeup, but sometimes when you sit down to have it professionally done and you look in the mirror and you're like, this doesn't look like me.
Mhm.
which was part of how I ended up here on social media because I wanted to wear makeup, but I didn't want to appear overdone or I didn't want to try and, I don't know, so to speak, hide anything. I just wanted to look like a better version of me. So when somebody sits down into your chair, do you ask them a series of questions like, what is
Yeah.
the look that you're going for?
Mhm.
Yeah, what's that look like?
Everything gets designed beforehand. You have to ask people how they dream of being photographed and then talk them through that process. Sometimes people come to you with images in the mind that don't look anything like them, and you think, how distorted are you that if I can bring you to this image, but I can't change, so I have to bring what your version is to this creation. But ultimately, everybody sits at the most vulnerable part. Here's something I just found out. This is going to freak you out. I did a creative photo shoot last week, 21 women, and they all had to wear a mask of some description. I had all these really cool masks, plain ones, that just represented invisibility. And it represented, I, wrote sort of improvident. It just represented being nothing, just having this plain mask on. The second you put a mask on someone, the energy in their body changed significantly in front of the camera. They had more confidence. They would do any pose you asked of them. They were embodying like emotion that we were going through with this creative phase. When you take the face away, and I looked at my associate photographer and videographer afterwards, and I said, "Did you notice that? When we covered their faces, they would do anything on camera. It was like the face is this thing, and when the camera comes up, you just see it come over people, all the tension, everything you don't like about yourself just goes onto your face, and you just hold all this tension in your lips and mouth, and because you're actually worried about other people, how they're seeing you through the camera. It's the weirdest thing, and it's why people hate being photographed, because they feel like they have no control.
Right, which is why moms and women in general, the older that you get, like I have very few photos of me with my small children. I was behind the camera when my children were small.
And
There's tons
you
of
guys are
pictures
the
of their dad.
worst. You're the
Yeah,
worst because when you say, come and get in the photo with your children, you go, no, 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 just the kids. I learned this a long time ago. I would get a mother and daughter photo shoot, and they generally would spend $4,000 on this shoot because it's a big shoot with albums and beautiful process and everything. I realized the daughters talked the mum into doing it. So the daughters would come in, and the mums would say, I'm doing this for my daughter, right? So I would focus on the daughter because the mum would bring in two outfits and the daughter would bring in 12.
and
And yeah. And then the mum would say, make it about her. She's the young, pretty one. And I cottoned on to this when I was about 23 years old. I was like, wait a minute. I'm spending all this time on the daughter, but the mum's paying. And even though it was the daughter's idea, the mum really wants to do this. She's just scared to. So I started turning my focus from the daughter to the mum first. And I would go, Mum, you go first. Mum, where are all your clothes? And that's when it went to $4,000. At first, it was 1,800, but I went to $4,000 average booking because all of those women wanted this experience, but were hiding behind their daughters having it because they either didn't think they were worth it, or they older women say things like, "What would I do with all these photographs of myself?" And I always say to them, "Love them, honor yourself." Put them around the house, feel good about yourself, look at them, share them with people you love. Like that's what you need to do. See yourself, honor
I agree with
yourself.
that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And then also there is this little piece is that the photos are there for you to enjoy if you want while you're here, but it's for your children and your family to enjoy when you're not.
We
And
always
so,
did that.
that's the thing is like I try to get my parents into these photos now, and they graciously do now, but there was this period of time where they weren't in the photos.
No.
And those at some point are going to be there for me to cherish. So, sometimes we miss that whole thing because we're
Yeah.
scrutinizing ourselves, our
Well, when
faces,
you
our
die,
bodies.
this is the metric. When you die, um, people will look for photos of you. What will they find? And when you die, your children will look for photos of you. What will they find?
Mhm.
And if your children have grown up into adults and they can't find photos of you with them as a child, that's how they will remember you, like not existing in photographs. So hashtag exist in photographs with your children And it doesn't matter 20 pounds, 40 pounds, wrinkles, double chin. It doesn't matter. You cannot actually do a genuine laugh without having a double chin. So you might as
That's
well
right.
just be a happy person because
You're
that's
right.
how your family are going to remember you in all those photographs.
That's true. Okay, so do this. Let's say you're in the studio and a woman my age comes in and they just say, I hate photos of me.
Hmm?
How, walk us through what you would do in order to build trust, in order to, other than putting a mask on, to
What do you
help
hate?
them.
When you say I hate photos of me and you say what do you hate, they'll give you a list.
Oh,
I
okay.
hate my fat arms. I've got a lazy eye sometimes on camera. If I turn this way, I get this line here. I don't like my chin. I don't like how much weight I'm carrying. I don't like the clothes that I bought in. It's like that. They'll give you a list of things that they don't like about themselves. Now, most of the time, most of those things are not relevant when you've got good lighting and good posing because like shadows under the eyes and a bad chin angle, things like that. I'm trained not to do those things. So I can eliminate most of the things you don't like about yourself just by taking the photo. Here's the problem. About 25 years ago, about 2001, '02, maybe '03, clients started to recognize that we could Photoshop them. So instead of coming in and saying, I don't like this, I don't like that, they were coming in and they started to say, can you fix this? Can you fix this? Can you fix my fat arms? Can you fix my double chin? Can you fix, and they would say it like we're fixing it. And so that's another trigger for me. It was like first, mostly what you're afraid of in the camera is just having no control. I can get rid of most of that. But I worked under one theory. If I remove the things you don't like about yourself, like if you've got eye bags and I photograph them, the bag is not the problem. It's the shadow underneath it. So if you just, get rid of that little shadow, they really are not there. You don't really see them. And it's so simple. It's just such an easy fix. And to just bring people back to it's okay to have eye bags, but we're just going to minimize them. But, now it was like, get rid of the eye bags. And I don't like my eye bags. So we put too much of what we don't like in fear of being photographed and fear of being seen. But when you realize somebody's a professional photographer, they're actually there to take the best photograph you've ever seen of yourself anyway. So I'm always kind of working around that. You don't need to worry, but do tell me if there's something you specifically hate seeing in photographs, tell me so I don't take it and then present it to you because I want you to see what you love. But then also, some people are wrong. Like they'll say, I don't like my smile. And I go, no, you just haven't ever smiled really authentically in front of a camera. You've probably done a fake smile. And so you hate that. Let me do an authentic smile and see if I can change your mind. And I've always been able to show people that that is the truth. Same with profiles. I get a lot of people say, I hate my profile. Women hate it. They hate their nose. But when you show them a really elegant profile with a big nose, it is the most elegant, beautiful thing you've ever seen, and it's a strong nose and it's something about it. And when you show people that, they just like it. So I think I've always been battling what people hate about themselves and then what I can make look good, but then also show them that what they hate about themselves is not actually that bad. It's very confusing sometimes.
No, I mean, I get that, but that comes from the creative aspect of what you do behind the camera. When you were saying that about eye bags and the shadow, hello, like that's where I come in. Those are the kinds of tips that I talk about all the time. Rather than getting surgery on your under eye bags, let me show you how to color correct and treat the shadow underneath of the bag. Those are just simple everyday things that you can do as a photographer or as a makeup artist or just as a woman who wants to look their best. And yeah, you're right, just diminish the appearance of those things that are bothering you.
Yeah.
So my next question to you is like, where do you draw the line as far as touching up photos? Because Photoshop is a real thing and filters are a real thing. And for me, I don't use any filters ever on anything that I do. And it is empowering. But then it also sometimes can be like, oh, yikes, gosh, like you can see every pore. So where do you draw the line in your photography with that?
I now have a open communication that goes something like this. I no longer retouch my photographs.
Okay.
And if there is a special request that you request, we can talk about it. But I'm choosing not to now retouch my photographs. Um, Photoshop is an incredible tool, and I think that had over 5,000 programmers at its height. It was the most ripped off software on the planet, and it truly is a remarkable software for its time. And we've abused it.
Yeah.
We've really abused it in the name of beauty, and that's changed. The world has changed. So this evolution into this self, this more natural self, I think it came from the younger generation. Social media suddenly stopped being so perfect and manufactured, and suddenly became just talking to the camera. It became real. The more AI we get, the more people will want to go back to realness because we can't distinguish the truth with AI.
Mhm.
And so the more brands are going to come back to in person and also just the realness of talking live and being real.
Yeah, that personal touch.
Yeah.
That
So
personal touch.
photography mimics that, it mirrors that for sure.
So, what do you see women asking more for when they come into your studio now than they did, let's say, back in 2003 or that time frame?
I think they're still struggling with, do I have to like fully like own everything, my pores and everything? Can I have some Photoshop? Like just ease me into this? That's pretty much the energy. And now they're getting these images that are not over processed. Now they're being a little bit more confronted when they're seeing the finished images and saying, these are beautiful. Wow, yes, I love this. I love that you can see my crow's feet. I love that you can see my smile lines. I love that I'm genuinely smiling. I don't need these to be retouched. In fact, people started to get a little bit more empowered that they're not being retouched. They're kind of starting to feel like, wait, I don't need any retouching. And you're like, no,
Yeah.
you don't. You
Yeah,
really
and
don't.
that they're finally realizing that. And but I feel like there's a little bit of power that comes when you hit the age of, let's just say 50, and over, where you start to realize that all of that other stuff isn't as important. At least that's where I am. One of the things that I noticed.
So do you know what, Kim? I'm going to admit this on a live. I'm really bad with skincare. I always have been. I don't go and get facials. I have skincare products, but I don't go and get facials because I always thought they were a waste of money and that they were just kind of fluff. And and I kind of always thought I would rather spend my money on getting a blowout or getting my hair done because I like that experience more. But the one thing I've noticed, especially now that I'm not going to put fillers in my face, is I have to start to take care of my skin. I recently just had a full facial proper one with the little electric like it's called the Botox facial because it just wakes your face up. And afterwards, we're sitting with my husband outside in the sun, and he looked at me and he goes, "What did you have done today?" I said, "Oh, I had a full facial, like for the first time, like a real proper one. Like it took an hour. It was unbelievable." And he goes, "You look 10 years younger." And I was like, what? And I was just all moisturized and
Hmm.
plumped up. And I just thought about it and I was like, how have I spent so much of my life just avoiding facials, thinking they were just sort of fluffy and not having good skincare? And so that's what you you made me feel so guilty. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should start really considering my skincare. I'm 54 and I'm only just starting to look after my skin now. So if you feel guilty out there about that, don't.
That's right. I mean, honestly, I didn't have my first facial until 51. Hello. So, you're not telling me anything that I didn't already know myself. And so, after you've been through it and then realize what's on the other side of a facial and taking care of your skin, then you're like, dang. And now we have this whole group of teenagers who are enthralled with buying the latest skincare. There's positives and negatives to all of that, but the truth of the matter is your skincare, if your skincare is a 2, your makeup is not going to be able to be a 10. So just forget that. And then just it can turn back the clock. I mean,
Yeah.
it's that simple. You're not going to find any makeup that looks good on your skin if your skin's not in good shape. So, and those are a form of self-care.
Yeah.
Just whenever you would go get a massage or you go buy yourself a new blouse or a new dress, that is a form of self-care. So maybe alternate that every now and then.
Yeah.
And then
Love it.
finding good skincare also that just works best for your skin too. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that, Sue, for sure.
And the other one was really that I loved was you're helping me break up with black eyeliner, which is probably one of the biggest things. I wore brown eyeliner today. Every time I look at it, I'm always like, oh, because there was something about wearing a lot of eye makeup. You always have a very glowy, beautiful, natural look, and you've got these bright blue eyes. I've spent my life putting black eyeliner on since I was 13 years old. And, to me, started to see photos of myself in the last 10 years on broadcast. And I was like, why am I wearing so much makeup, And my friends, a lot of my friends don't wear any makeup at all. And so I just think it's a very personal choice, but it has something to do with, it's very tied to my look and who I am as a person. Like
Mhm.
I don't feel like myself if I don't have my makeup on.
All right. And many women don't. And the things that I teach, which, are just ideas, but you have very dark features. Your features are very different from mine. And sometimes the way that you wear black eyeliner can make all the difference in the world. Like, if you're wearing it too bold and your ends are not meeting at the corners where like you stop short or you're not lining your waterline. And there's so many different ways that you can wear black eyeliner that truly look beautiful. If you want to soften it, then you can use a brush to be able to soften it. Wings, winged eyeliner, the older that you get, when your eyes start to like droop,
It's
there
impossible.
is not, there is, it is like, a dove that is flying out of the sky. It's just
A
going to
lightning
kind of
bolt.
hang there. Right. It's not going to work. So those are just the kind of tips that I like to kind of teach, is that these might be just little tweaks that you can make. Doesn't mean you have to ditch the black eyeliner, but ditch the harshness of it. Soften it up just a little bit. But you have those dark features, your dark hair, your dark lashes, your dark brows. That's not me. And that's not a lot of people too, but it's just, a suggestion to try something a little cooler, maybe.
So when did you start? What I want to end with, really, because this is a message that both of us really, really love, is 50 plus women. I just want to say 40 plus women. If you're listening, put your face on social media. Like when I saw Kim, I was like, oh, people like me, just putting their face out, women my age, just putting their face and their voice out there on social media, on lives, and on their content is so incredible. And thank you so much for doing that. The more we do it, the more I didn't even realize I just keep getting older on my account without, and I did kind of think maybe I should stop. But I just had a few people reach out to me in the last 3 years and say, good on you for putting yourself out there at your age. And I was like, wait a minute, I've been out here for 15 years, so I'm just getting older and older in this space. But then I thought about it and I was like, we stopped doing this. We know this. We stopped showing up in the marketing and we're the forgotten generation. 50 plus women spend more money on luxury lingerie than any other demographic. They spend more money on luxury travel than any other demographic. They're controlling the world's wealth. They're inheriting from their husbands and their parents. And most of them are are X generation. So they're inheriting boomers' legacy of real estate. They're about to become the richest generation in the world, and they're 50 plus women, and they're the most ignored in media. So, if there's anything I love, it's just starting to find more follows of women that are 50 plus putting themselves out there in their personal brands and online. It's magnificent, and I love it.
I love that too. And you and I also came to social media to teach. Initially, you teaching photography and me teaching makeup and still doing that. But now once you've been here, you can kind of start to your brand starts to evolve a little bit once you start to understand what your community wants and really who you are, because we're ultimately evolving also through this process. I've been here on social media not for 15 years, but for 6 years doing the very same thing. But in that 6 year time frame, I've gone through menopause.
Yeah.
My children have moved out. Now I'm an empty nester. Now I'm starting a second career, all of those things. And
Wow.
so when you evolve, your community evolves with you.
Yeah.
And it's fun to be able to bring new things to the forefront, because it being in this space, granted, it's not always easy,
No.
but as long as you are being authentic and true and evolving, then it stays fun.
Yeah,
You know what I
agreed.
mean?
Yep, totally agreed. Certainly not easy, but do it. I think another thing too, the more we promote women over 50 to show up on social media, the more we just become mainstream. And we are mainstream in real life, so why shouldn't we be mainstream on life? I want advice from women my age. I don't want a 30-year-old makeup artist to teach me. I want you to teach me on your face. Like that to me is the difference. And I think this new sort of wave of social media that's having us all put our personal brands out there is going to bring a whole lot of older women. So,
I couldn't agree more. And I have one more question for you
sure.
before we close this up. So if you were going to give, let's do three simple tips, okay?
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be for women over 50 when it comes to being photographed. One for wardrobe, one for makeup, and like one for like posture or expression or something. When we get now behind the camera, you, the photographer, what advice do you give to us?
For the makeup, I would say it has to be true to you 100%. So if you wear a full face of makeup and you put on a full face of makeup and that's true to you, bonus. In terms of clothing, I always say to people, women always come in with 20 outfits and then tell me they have nothing to wear. So I always say this, you can go and get a dress out of your wardrobe that you never get to wear. I don't even care if it doesn't zip up, it won't make a difference. It will still photograph really, really well. You can wear anything on camera that you would not wear in public, a see-through shirt, like a short skirt. Maybe you wouldn't wear that in public, but you can be photographed in all of these things. So you can absolutely express yourself however you want to express yourself. But the truth is at the end of the day, how do you really want to look and what sort of vibe do you want to put out there? And that usually people get really quickly as to what they want to wear. And then showing up in front of the camera, there is nothing that you can do in this moment, but trust me, it's truly. So choose a photographer that you really love their work. And if you are an older woman or a curvy body or a certain skin type or color, and you see no representation of yourself in the folio of the clients that they are showing, this is not your photographer. And I have been forcing photographers for the last 15 years to show their ages, show their body types, show all the curves, show all the ages, show all the diversity, or you don't belong to those clients because those clients have to see themselves in your brand. So that to me is more important. When it comes to being photographed, when it comes to poses, I always say I've created a few little short series of what we hate about ourselves in photographs, but the biggest one is our chin. Most people sit in their relaxed chin, and I teach chin forward and down. So I just teach a long neck, chin forward, push it down, opens the eyes up, defines the jawline, gives you a beautiful shot. Just chin forward and down. And that's mostly a posture. The shoulders go back, the chin goes forward. If the chin goes forward too much, you're going to get bands, right? So we don't
Mhm.
want to push bands out. We just want it to be here. And then we're not sitting into our chin and our neck with our chin up. It's just forward and down. And it just opens those eyes so beautifully. When it comes to your body, honestly, the more you relax in your body and let somebody guide you through posing, the more you're just going to smash it out of the park. But I would ask if your photographer is good at directing and posing. Because if they are not, they will be moving you awkwardly and you will be moving awkwardly, and this will show in the body language in your images. So there are a few questions you need to ask your photographer. Have you got my back with posing? Have you got a good hair and makeup artist? Really communicating how you want to be photographed. Can they direct you? Can they pose you? And the photographers that can really connect with people and make them feel safe, because that's the biggest one, just let you feel safe so that you can drop your guard and shine so I can photograph your real beauty. That's the secret. Are the ones that can take control of the room and help them pose and help them move. I also am connected to a whole lot of photographers that are in the anti-posing movement, which means they don't do any set posing, but they 100% direct you to spin around, dance, throw your legs. Like they are not just letting you do it. It's just a different vibe. So work out what vibe you want from your photographer and ask them, for that direction because you're sitting in front of the camera, you're vulnerable, you don't know how to pose, you might not feel great about your clothes, your makeup, your hair, and your body. What you want is somebody behind the camera that can make you feel like $1 million, that's going to make you feel so good for being there that you trust them and let them do their work. I always say to people, my job is to take the most beautiful photograph that you've ever seen of yourself. And that is my job. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the best photograph you've ever seen of yourself. I know I am. And when I say that, I say it with so much reassurance and truth because I know I am. And then they let down this guard and I really get to do that. So just
Wow.
trust them. Yeah.
I mean, I would love at some point to make my way out to Scottsdale, Arizona to have you
Well, I've
photograph
never been
me.
to Maine. So I did say, I was like, I'm
Maryland.
quite
I'm in
prepared to
Maryland.
come your way.
Maryland.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maryland.
Yeah,
There.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. You're in Maryland.
Yes, but I know for a fact that you make your clients feel so special being in your studio. Do you play music?
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
I was
Always.
going to say, because I feel like getting
Yeah.
behind the camera and feeling the music and dancing or whatever the vibe is for,
So for
yeah.
many years, like 30 years, it used to be a glass of champagne. People would say, "Can I have a glass of champagne?" And we realized that if people were nervous, they would drink 2 or 3 glasses of champagne and get lazy eyes. And drunk behavior became really obnoxious in front of the camera. It was like, ooh. So we took alcohol away about 25 years ago and we said, no more alcohol. Music was the way of putting a vibe into the room that alcohol could bring. It's a social lubricant and it's
Mhm.
definitely something that gives you a little bit of up energy, and to me, it was always pop music in the studio, because
Mm,
pop music has a cadence. It's weird. People can sing to pop music whether they like it or not. It's really catchy. They
mhm,
know the songs, and because the music is an upbeat type of music, it would just keep the vibe of the shoot going for 3 hours. Because every
mhm.
3 hours, people need to eat. So I would always try and cut off 3 hours max. 2.5 would be perfect, including the hair and makeup.
You know what would
And
be fun is if we challenged all viewers, anybody who's seeing this video right now, to set your phone up and play some music and just take some photographs of yourself.
yeah,
Set your little camera on your iPhone or whatever kind of
yeah,
phone you have,
get the
set the
vibe.
timer and get some ideas. Natural light. I'm sitting here in natural light right now with the window in front of me. That's all you need. And
Yep.
experiment and play and have fun and get some photos of you on your
And
own
video.
phone. Yeah,
Video
and
so that you
video.
can use them in the background of your reels. But see what Kim's doing. She's walked to a window. She's got even light across her whole face. If you find the light is too hard on your face and your phone is in between you and the window, I want you to go to a sheer curtain. Like if you've got a sheer curtain, stretch that out and it filters the light on your face and softens it, and it looks absolutely incredible. Go toward the light, put your chin forward, put some music on, and just feel the music and do lots of smiling with your eyes. And remember this, do you know how to show warmth with your face? Like when you look at a small child, can you show warmth in your expression? That is the most beautiful expression that you can be photographed with. It's your warmth expression. Your eyes have warmth. Your cheeks are rounded. Your lips are soft and smiling. And it is the most beautiful face. So just show warmth and kindness to yourself in the photograph and look in your own, like look in the whole of the camera. Don't look in your eyes, because then you take photos looking down like this instead of ones where you're looking straight at the viewer. And when you're looking straight at the viewer, it changes the way that they perceive the photograph.
And don't delete the photos.
No.
Leave them on your camera. Just leave them on your phone. Swipe and move on. But
When I
it,
first got on social media, Kim, I was heavier in my body, and I really tried to not be on social media. I really tried to avoid it. And I realized I couldn't avoid it because I was just getting thousands and tens of thousands of followers. So what I did was this: I did a selfie every day, every week for 52 weeks. And I did it for 3 years in a row. And during that time, my body changed and I was going through a lot. But I showed up to the selfie shoot once a week, every week for a year. I did it when I had a head cold. I did it with a hangover at the time, and I would just do it. And I started to put more effort in. I'd start to do my makeup better and hair better and look for a place to go and do it instead of just a selfie in the same spot. And inevitably, what happened is as I started to change, I started to use all these photographs. I started to use them as profile photographs. I got used to seeing my face, my older face, and my bigger body on camera. And I started to share it more. And it gave me so much confidence. I did it for 3 years and it really changed me. So do it. See yourself. Realize that you're enough. Realize you're fabulous. Realize there's women just like us that want to connect and learn from women just like us. And all your people are out there. So don't hold yourself back.
Exactly. When I look back at the photos 6 years ago, and even the very first video that went viral here is basically, in my opinion, kind of ridiculous. Like the reel that went viral that put me into this role was the lighting was poor, my timing was poor, all of it. But it's still on my camera. It's still on my phone. And what I realized when that reel went viral was that I was trying all kinds of fancy things before then. I was trying like filters and funny transitions like twirling and all the things. But
And you
what
just
that
needed to sit by the window.
but what that reel that went viral did was show me that people actually wanted to learn because
Yeah.
I was teaching in that video. I wasn't doing
Yeah.
all of the other things. I was just teaching. And so that helped me to then know what people wanted. And then I could evolve with that lighting and
So if you'd
all the
not
things.
put that first video up that went viral like that, that video that went viral, imagine if you thought that that wasn't good enough and you didn't do it. At what point, I'm guessing you started this during COVID,
During
or was it,
COVID. Yep.
well, yeah. So
During COVID,
at
for
what
sure.
point did you realize you were kind of onto something? You were like, whoa, my audience is growing massively. Like
Right.
at what point in that 6 years did you kind of go, yeah,
I it was just one of those things where I was in on Facebook for a good while, and then I ended up realizing that I've, I'm ready to explore other social media platforms, and it was just one of those things. I was having so much fun. I really wasn't thinking about anybody else at that point except for just what brought me joy. And that's just teaching makeup. And at that time I had 0 followers, and then I had 10 followers, and then I had 20 followers. And every time I kept thinking, well, here's 10 people watching me. Well, here's 20 people watching me. So there must
Mhm.
be 20 people that want to learn how to put on makeup. And kind of the rest is history.
That's so awesome.
So I'm trying to block some people here. So,
No, that's so,
okay.
so awesome.
All right, Sue. My gosh, thank you so much for coming here
You're
and
welcome.
talking to me about the things that I'm passionate about and, women in midlife being brave and courageous in this season of life. Um, take more photos of yourself.
Yep.
Wear the makeup, don't wear the makeup. Take care of your skin, you know, be take care of yourself. All of those
Yeah.
things that I think are important. Are there any last thoughts that you kind of want to leave those
I
of
think now it just comes back to self value. It used to always come back to beauty and it used to come back to looks. And now we're just coming back to a message of self value. And I just love, I'm going to promote and share any brands of women over 50 that I find that are like you, that are authentic and wonderful, because I just want to see a world where older women are more and men are all online sharing. So, yeah, thank you
I
so much. It was
I
so wonderful
agree.
to meet you. I can't wait to photograph you, and then we'll have to, of course, go live at your shoot so that your people can see you being
See
photographed.
you direct me. See you direct me behind
Yeah,
the camera. I can't wait for
that's
that.
right.
All right. Bless you, Sue. Thank you so much. And you have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye, everyone.
See ya. Bye bye.